Hello people YouTube, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the Golf Club 2, and in this video I'm going to try and demonstrate the clubs. Now I've actually made this kind of test land up. I've basically just made a big flat area. As you can see here, I've put markers. That's 100, and I've put a red marker in the middle. It's maybe going to be quite hard to hit this centre line, that's the only thing. But these are outer markers are like 5 yards. But you see there I've kind of deviated a little bit. I might actually... I don't know why the hole moves. Let's see if we can actually move this over a little bit. Edit. Can I just even move this over just a touch? I don't know if that really worked. There's my marker. Yeah, it's not really worked, has it? What I was trying to do is just move that over a little bit. For some reason it's went, that's the green. It's not really moving. I want to move that marker. I want to move this. I don't really think it's going to work, but basically I've set this up so I can gauge how far sort of clubs kind of deviate. Now I've got standard clubs, and to be honest, it's probably going to be. Let's try and hit this. I've got a marker about 190, so I've got a 4 hybrid here. Okay, the zoom function's a bit, I don't know why it's a bit weird. There's the centre line. Let's just hit this. It's actually quite hard to hit these clubs like offline. So there's the marker there. Now you can see that didn't go exactly on it, but it hasn't really deviated from that. So that's a marker. I'm actually going to try and hit this bad, like slice it, and it's impossible to do it. Oh, I haven't rewound my shot. I was wondering where the marker was. Right, let's rewind again. But I'm actually putting, like, I'm actually turning my controller and I'm actually swinging. Now let's go and hit the full hybrid again. Now I actually swung that with quite a lot of side hill. I was actually almost at like a 45-degree angle almost, and it hasn't deviated. So standard clubs are really easy to hit. Basically the y-axis doesn't affect the shot at all. It's basically impossible to hit a bad shot. Let's actually hit the driver here, but the driver's going to be well short of this marker. In fact, I need to move that over a bit. I think I actually do. That says a bit there. So basically the standard clubs are pretty much straight as a die, which is really what I thought the standard clubs would actually be. You know, they're not going to deviate. So let's go edit. I don't know if we can we actually... Stats and records, no, we can't change. I thought I could maybe change without going exiting. So basically I'm going to exit the course editor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into I'm going to player clubs if I'll go to tour clubs, because that's really what I'm testing. I want to really demonstrate just how far um, like a shot gets in terms of like offline, or the difference between a draw and a fade shot. So let's go back. Yeah, I called it big ass flat area, but it's actually asterisk that word, which is quite good. I mean, I suppose you don't want people putting right. So this is the tour clubs basically. The reason that I chose course editor is because it's basically no wind. So there's a marker there, and there's the other marker. They look pretty straight, to be honest. Right, for this, I think I'm actually lined up. The view goes a bit strange. I don't know why it does that. But I'm going to basically I'm going to hit this with a drop. So there's a perfect draw swing. You see it moving offline straight away. And there you go. So there's the marker there. Now, we're probably about 5.5 yards from the centre line there. And that's a draw shot. So let's go back. Let's rewind that shot. And what I'm going to try and do now, I say try because it's not always going to happen, but I'm going to hit a fade shot here. We hit another drop. But that does prove that it's the exact same shot there. So let's rewind now. So let's reset my controller here the way I'm gripping it. Okay, right, let's try fade. So there's a fade shot, perfect. Now let's see where this goes. And you can see there it's almost the exact same. It's about maybe 6 yards, 5.5 to 6 yards of deviation. If I just swing this round here, you can see there that there's not much difference. That's like probably somewhere in the region of maybe 11 yards, just over 11 yards difference between a draw and a fade shot. Now that's quite a lot. If you're trying to hit a fairway that's reasonably tight, you really do have to hit a certain shot, and that's where. So let's rewind this again. Now, to hit a straight shot I think is probably impossible in this game. That's reasonably straight. Now you can see there. I mean, that's pretty much on that centre line. So there you go. I've hit a range of shots there that are basically showing you that a draw shot is going to be on that peg behind us. Fade shot is going to go on that peg in front of us, and a reasonably straight shot is actually going to be semi-reasonably straight. But the question here is, how often can I replicate that straight shot? That is the ultimate key. And that's one of the reasons why I think to play the tour clubs successfully and consistently, you really do have to play a certain shot. Because if you go for the straight shot all the time, you're really not going to get it. I mean, it's very, very difficult. I'm going to try again with a straight shot. That's reasonably straight. You can see there it's just drew over. It's kind of in between 2.5 yards probably from the centre line. So, I mean, right off the bat there, I mean, I'm quite consistent. I'm hitting into that cone. But you can imagine drawing if you had a tee shot, and you went to say like the overhead, right? We'll go to the overhead shot. I call it the kind of stroke saver. Now, if you drew that cone that's in your swing meter, if you drew that out there, I'll probably give you a good indication of where that ball's going to land in that cone, and that's basically what that cone is. You know, if you hit it to the left of the cone, you're going to hit to that left marker. If you hit to the right of the cone, you're going to hit to that right marker. But for me, the key fundamental, and I've watched a lot of YouTubers and stuff, and I'm actually quite fascinated by it. The people that have started playing tour clubs and kind of say that they're going to go back to player clubs because they don't find an advantage. I mean, there is obviously a yardage advantage, distance advantage with the tour clubs, but for me, the key fundamental to being accurate with the tour clubs is hitting the draw and the fade shot. To me, I don't even think about hitting it straight. I completely eliminate the straight shot because you're never going to get it. The only straight shot you're going to hit is with standard clubs. But with the tour clubs, you've got to just eliminate the straight shot and just say, I'm never going to hit that straight shot ever. Because you're always going to hit either left or right. And the idea, of the kind of philosophy that I play with tour clubs is basically, I either hit a draw or a fade shot, and that's it. I don't go for the straight shot. I basically set up, once I calculate the wind, the elevation, the lie, all that kind of stuff, I've made up my mind if I'm hitting a draw shot or a fade shot, and I commit to that shot. And I've been playing pretty well. Yesterday what did I shoot? I went round St Andrews. I had 267, so I was 10 under par, which is pretty good shooting with tour clubs round St Andrews. At one point I was actually 8 under par in my second round, but I double bogeyed the road hole, and I bogeyed, I think it was 14, 16, I think it was 15 and 17. I bogeyed 15, double bogeyed 17. But I was playing quite consistent, and I think when people say that they're not consistent with the clubs, it's because you're deviating to either the right side of the cone or the left side of the cone. But to factor in to hit that straight shot is just not going to happen with tour clubs. You really do have to adopt the draw and the fade and factor that in. So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to hit. I've got a marker at 190, so I've got a 5 iron. Should I go with a 6 iron? Go with a 6 iron. So again, I'm going to hit the draw shot, which I consider to be my natural shot. I draw. So there you can see there, it's right on that yellow marker. Probably just inside 5 yards, maybe 4.5 yards of deviation from the centre. So let's rewind. And let's hit. What did we hit? There was a 6 iron. So let's select 6 iron again. Now this shot, I'm just going to move it over because I'm not right on the centre. That's the centre line. So this shot, I'm actually going to hit a fade. And there's a perfect fade shot. Now this should go to the other side of that marker. Now it's not went as much. So maybe try again. That maybe wasn't like an extreme fade shot, but you can see that it has went off centre line. Oh, that's a driver. And it wasn't really a good shot either. You can see how far that's deviated. That's quite a bad shot. Now let's rewind here. Right, select 6 iron. Now that's a straight shot. And you can see there, it's just on that centre line. I mean, it's not perfect, but it basically was a straight shot. Now to hit that shot again and again, to repeat it, I think would be quite difficult. You're always, as I say, I'm accentuating where I'm hitting it. So let's go 6-iron again. I want to hit this fade. So there we go. That's probably a better fade shot. And you can see there, it mirror images the draw shot. It's about 5 yards. The markers are maybe not set perfect, but that's about 5 yards off centre. So we're getting, basically with the driver and with the 6-iron, we're getting approximately 5 yards of off from the centre line. But I have shown that you can actually hit a straight shot, but it is so, for me, hitting the actual draw and fade shot is making you more accurate. If you can hit that whenever you want, then you're probably on your way to playing well with the tour clubs. So here we go, we've got a sand wedge here. I'm actually going to set up and hit my draw shot. So there's my draw shot. I can probably hit that quite accurate all the time. And there you see, we're not as much, obviously with the wedge clubs, it's not as much in terms of deviation. That's maybe what, 2.5 yards, 2 yards maybe of a difference. So let's rewind the shot. So let's go and hit sand wedge again, and we'll hit the fade shot here. And there's that's probably an extreme fade, I would call it. But you see there, that's right on the 5. So basically, if we're inside the cone, but basically hitting a fade shot, we'll probably get 2 yards. If we hit it right in the edge, we're getting 5 yards. So I'll maybe try and hit a not as an extreme fade. That's a kind of in between fade. That's probably just going to be to the left, the right, sorry. So that's almost the same shot. So that's like a yard, maybe just over a yard and a half. Let's rewind. Probably going to try and hit an extreme draw shot with it, the sand wedge. So that's quite extreme. That's going to be on that marker, 5 yards offline. Well, it's kind of between. But you can see there that, I mean, you're going to be hitting a good shot, and you're probably going to have a decent putt, especially with the scoring clubs. But when you go slightly longer, you're going to have more kind of extreme shots. But basically, I'm just trying to show that that there is slight deviations in the shots you hit. Now we'll hit another draw shot here. That's a perfect draw shot. And now you see there. So I mean, it's not. People are saying that they're inconsistent, but I think the thing is as well, once you calculate all your, I mean, this is pure, like, there's no wind here. There is a slight bit of wind, but there's not really much. But I mean, it shows that you can drift a little bit, and obviously there's a lot of variation in terms of wind, slope, hole elevation, calculating the kind of yardage. This is just basically stripping it down to like basics, and you can actually see the result. So I'm actually just going to go and out the course, and I'm going to see if there's any difference with the player clubs. But I just find that if you eliminate the shot, hitting the straight shot, if you eliminate that and just go for a draw and a fade, you can actually get into a groove and start hitting that shot quite comfortable. And I've started playing obviously tour clubs, and to be honest, I don't think I could go back to player clubs. Um, I mean, that distance is really nice to have. So let's go back. Let's go back in and just see if I don't think there'll be all that much in the way of a difference, to be honest. Um, right, let's play test. Play hole. So standard clubs you cannot hit wrong. I don't think. It's. I mean, I tried to hit an extreme like duff shot, and it still hit the shot perfect, which is what you'd expect from standard clubs. Okay, so here we go. We have got the player clubs. So I'm actually going to do my normal shot, which is a draw shot. That's marking a shot. I mean, the thing is, you really still get that sort of same shot. You know, I'm probably just 4.5 yards off the centre line there now. I've not set this close up as accurate as what I should be, but I'll try and hit a fade shot here. That's kind of fairly straight, slightly to the left. Fade is not my natural swing in this game. A draw shot I could probably replicate quite a lot, but the fade shot, it's not my. I kind of struggle sometimes with it. There we go. There we get the fade shot. And there's the markers. So it's probably actually the same. It's probably the same as the tour clubs in terms of like deviation. So, but obviously you're not getting the distance. So we'll try the 5-iron here. I'll try a fade. There we go. It's kind of not a full fade there. It's almost like an in between. Try this again. So I mean, even with the player clubs, there actually is change. So try another fade. That's a bit same. It may actually not be as sensitive. That's probably kinda probably same as the last shot we hit there. What I'll do is I'll set up my shot, the draw. Let's go down to 6-iron, whatever it was. 5-iron, 5-iron. That's kind of a draw. Again, there's not much in like a 5-6-iron range. It is there, but it's not huge. It's not like deviating that much. Oh, that's actually the driver. But I mean, it's kind of the same, almost in terms of like drawn and fade shots. I'm probably going about the same kind of distance away from the centre line. But the main thing that I'm really trying to prove there is that it's you kind of. I basically just eliminate the straight shot because I just feel that, you know, if you hit 100 shots, how many straight, absolutely razor straight shots are you going to hit? And it's probably not going to be. You probably will hit quite a few, but taking that to the golf course, I mean, we're talking about maybe, say, like a 6 iron. If you plan to hit a straight shot, but you maybe fade it a little bit, I mean, you're going to end up 2, 3, 4, 5 yards away from the hole, which is quite a lot. I mean, if you're playing to quite a tight pin, you've got to be super accurate. That could be the difference between, you know, hitting into a bunker or even hitting into a water hazard. So it kind of proves there that there is what I would term a groove that you need to hit and a shot that you need to hit. I mean, my technique, I mean, I use what I call the cradle technique, which is, sounds kind of maybe goofy, and some people might go, what's he talking about? And I have got a video up where I show you my cradle technique, and it's, for me, it's just a natural way that I play golf with analog sticks, and it's just something that I've played with for as far back as I can remember. And for me, it's a very accurate way to play the game. It basically means that on the actual swing stick, it just gives me a fantastic ability to basically really groove shots. And there's not many people in the game, people that are good with tour clubs, I think, are going to utilise the draw and the fade shot. Because really hitting straight is not, I don't think it's really an option. And there's, I mean, that's straight. Now that is a straight shot. But can you hit that every single time? In fact, I'll try and hit that again. Let's just try. See? I've hit a fade. So that straight shot is now turned into a fade, which is probably, I mean, with the wind settings and stuff, I mean, that's probably 5-6 yards offline. Let's try and hit another straight shot. See, now that's a straight shot. So I'll try and hit another straight shot. See? And that's where I draw. So, I mean, basically, the kind of, the whole thing about the swing, and even, I would even say for player clubs, it'd be wise to start getting a shot that you're comfortable with, whether it be, I mean, hit some balls and watch whereabouts in the cone you hit. And say, for instance, you hit, say just hit like 20 shots, and take a note of how many shots you hit straight, fade or draw, and then at the end of it, you're probably going to have a number that you might be in between. That means that you're kind of, well, say inconsistent. But if you're hitting one particular side, then that's maybe the side that's your natural shot. Because most golfers do have a natural shot. Like, you'll get somebody who say, I fade the ball or I draw the ball. Very few people actually do hit the straight shot. Some people can hit it straight, but most of the time you're going to be hitting it to one side. Now, I kind of favour the draw shot. I can hit the fade, but it's not as accurate as I'd probably like it to be. But I can, and I do have the ability to hit that shot when I want. So let's actually set off the fade here. And there we go, we actually hit that straight. Now obviously the wind's taking it, there is wind on the range. But basically, I mean, hopefully this video is actually proved and showing the fact that there is a deviation in the shot you hit. So a lot of people think you hit it in the cone. You are hitting a good shot, but you're still, even with player clubs, you're still hitting like a draw or a fade, and you're still getting that, like maybe 2.5, 5 yard deviation from like a centre line hit. So basically, it's like, I mean, how can you explain it? I mean, even down to like a tee shot's not as, it doesn't need to be as accurate as an approach shot. So tee shots, I'm still hitting draws and fades into the wind, holding the shot up. But approach shot is, I mean, you're talking about hitting a pin. So if you set up for that pin, a lot of people will gauge the wind and they'll gauge it for a straight shot, but I don't. I actually say, right, I'm going to hit a draw. I set the shot before I calculate the wind, and whatever it is, say it's coming, I don't know, 10 miles per hour from the left, I'll probably hit a draw, and then I'll probably not aim as much as what it would be for a straight shot. I'll actually bring it in a little bit because the draw shot's going to actually bite into that wind a little bit. So you've got to really accommodate for the shot you're going to hit. But a lot of people maybe don't do that. They maybe say, right, 10, maybe 5, 10, but whatever the wind direction is, they'll calculate that and then they'll hit to that marker for a straight shot, and you're never going to hit that straight shot. And that's where a lot of people are getting not accurate shots, because they're not hitting to one side of the cone. And I just think I've played the game and I'm really enjoying the tour clubs, probably because I'm actually hitting them. I'm actually hitting a specific shot for that hole or for that wind, and that is just a draw or a fade. I'm not even trying to hit it straight, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people maybe need to think about doing, is saying, right, okay, if I can hit one shot, but it's either going to be the draw or the fade, I'm not going to get a straight shot in the game. And as soon as you take that out of the equation, you're probably going to become a better golfer with tour clubs and have a lot more accuracy, especially on an actual approach shot, which is probably where it counts. Driving's not as bad, but approach shots have got to be so dialed in and so accurate. And if you're deviating, if you're setting up for a straight shot and you're hitting a fade, then you're going to miss it maybe 5 yards to the right, and that's not going to cut the mustard in this game. So I mean, I may do more videos on this, like maybe taking it to the course, but I usually do that anyway. When I play, I usually say I want to hit a draw shot, I want to hit a fade before I hit, because I'm actually factoring that into my shot. That becomes another part. I mean, in this game you've got wind, you've got hole elevation, whether it's above or below, and then you also calculate your shot lie, like, is it up slope, down slope, side hill, is it above your feet, below your feet. So you're factoring all that in, and then I'm factoring in another factor, and that's what shot I'm going to hit, a draw or a fade. So once I've done all that, I've got an extra calculation to factor in before I even hit the shot, and that's what I do. So there you go, nice little draw off the tee, and that's what I do. I'm actually aiming what part of that cone I'm going to hit to, and I think that's the key. I'm not. I mean, a lot of people might just go, I'll just hit it. If I get in the cone, I'm happy. But just practice hitting a draw, and then practice hitting a fade, and try and get it to the point where you can do it at any moment in any time in your game. Whether it's even down to like a sand wedge, you've still got to factor in that draw spin or fade spin. You're not really going to deviate too much, but it still is a slight deviation in it, and I factor that into my golf shots, and that's how I play. So anyway, guys, I hope you found that kind of interesting. I think it was quite interesting the way that we basically took it out to the range and done it under almost kind of like clinical tests in a way, because the wind's not there and we can actually see exactly how far it drifts. So I'm in offline mode here. I could probably get in and show you my handicap record. Oh, I need a connection. But basically, I've been playing quite well. I played quite a few rounds. I played in the Apex Hounds tournament this week. I think it's something. What did they call it? Oh, I can't remember what he called it. But basically, I'm 11 under par. I was, I think, 13 under par. The last hole in that course, I can't remember the name of the course. It's quite a good course. The last hole, I think, is probably one of the best last holes or 18s that I've seen in the game. There's water all down the left hand side, and it's quite the fairway's not that wide, so it's quite an accurate shot. And I've played it like 3 times now, and I've actually hit. I think I got an eagle at it one day, but the other 2 days I've actually found the water with the second shot. Tee shots I've found dry land, but I got a good bounce the one I got the eagle, but I got a bad bounce in the third round, and it basically just went into the rough, and I had a kind of side hill lie, and I just miscalculated it. I probably, thinking about it now, I should just have pitched out and put it back in the fairway. But I ended up taking, I think, a double bogey, and I went back to 11 under par. But I've been playing really well. I had a bad spell with the tour clubs, like almost like 2 weeks ago, probably about a kind of week and a half, and I couldn't. I just wasn't hitting the ball well, and I was getting quite. It was getting really kind of mental, and that's one of the good things about this game. You can just find bad form, which I think is quite good, and it's probably the way it should be. But the last few days I've been actually off the tee, especially. I've been really hitting the shots. I've been hitting the draw shot when I want it. I've been hitting a fade when I want it. I've been finding fairways, and I've actually been playing reasonably well with the tour clubs. As I say, I don't shoot really low scores. I mean, I could have shot quite a low score at St Andrews, but as I say, I double bogeyed the road hole. Excuse me. Which is quite a difficult hole anyway, but 2 rounds of 67 is quite good. So I'm going to finish that society off today. That's in my Pixelated Golfers. Also, a big shout out. I'll probably do this at the beginning of my live stream, but I'll do it in this video as well. Big thanks to the people that donated money to my society, because I went in, I think I had something like, I'm trying to think what I had. I didn't have that. I had under 2,000 coins, I think. I went into my society and I had 9,000 coins, because the update, you can actually donate money from your bank, from your coin collection, into the society, which I think is a huge and powerful thing for societies, because if you've got a big society, you could actually generate quite a lot of money in terms of coins. You could actually have quite a big plus event. I might actually put some extra money into the Open Championship. I think I've got over 6,000 coins at the moment. I took the opportunity in leveling up my society at the end, but I've still got 6,000 coins, so I might potentially put like 1,500 coins, maybe even 2,000 coins into the actual purse for the the open, just to make it kind of sweeten it a little bit. But anyway, guys, I've kind of rambled on a lot, but I hope you found this video kind of interesting. I probably not be happy with the video. Sometimes you get that, you know, you probably could have done it better. But really, it's just getting at a groove with drawing and fading the ball, and I think if you can actually go in and do that, you become a better player. Because even player clubs, you still need to factor that in, hitting a draw and a fade. So anyway, guys, I've rambled on too long. So I hope you found that video interesting. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. As I say, I'm pushing actually towards 100 now, which is absolutely amazing. And I really appreciate it, guys and girls. So I'll see you for more videos coming up soon. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.